When I first was diagnosed, a lot of the emotions really were negative emotions. They were fear, anger, hopelessness.
My mother died from complications related to type 2 diabetes at the age of 35. Ironically, I was diagnosed at the age of 35.
When the doctors told me that I had gestational diabetes, I was devastated because here I have just learned that I'm having this bundle of joy. I am pregnant, this is my first child, and so I'm embracing the pregnancy.
I felt that I had to step up to the plate and say, okay, as the oldest of the siblings, I'm gonna take care of my mom from now on.
My primary care doctor simply said, okay, you have type 2 diabetes. Let's get you on some medication. I didn't know anything about what it really meant. I didn't know how I should change my eating habits. I didn't know that I should incorporate exercise into my life. At that time, I didn't have what I felt like was a good support system.
I really had to come to the realization that it is not going to go away. I cannot just be in denial and not deal with it because, again, now I have this child that's going to depend on me. So now I have to change my life, not only for him, but for me so that I can live.
There are challenges, I guess I would call them, knowing that, she's aging, and so just recognizing those kind of issues.
We don't want to talk about diabetes. So why is that? That's the most puzzling thing, I would say. When I first found out about having diabetes, I felt like, again, it was a dirty little secret, but most people's conception or misconception about it is you have diabetes because you're fat, so it's your fault. That is the main, you hear that more than you hear anything.
Most people like us didn't know that genetics could be such a big part of it. I think one of the things that makes me sad about type 2 is that it's assumed that you have done it to yourself. And that's not the case. It's a disease, and just like any other disease, you cannot actually control the whole thing by yourself. I think that for us, I knew that Derek was going to treat it very seriously and be very motivated, and I wanted to be there by his side to make it as easy as possible for him to do what he needed to do.
Obviously there are genetic factors associated with type 2 diabetes, but I think we need to educate the public, raise awareness about type 2 diabetes. What can you do so it doesn't overwhelm you?
So my motivation is my son. You have to lead by example. And if you don't, kids see exactly what you do. So in order to be a positive influence in his life, I have to show him that I'm doing positive things and making a difference not only in my life, but it's going to affect his life.
I want others to take away from my story that just because you've been diagnosed with type 1 or type 2, your life isn't over. There's a lot of hope. People live long, healthy lives. I see nothing but a bright light ahead of me.
I have 2 boys that I want to spend the rest of my life with. I want to be there for all of their milestones in their life.
What motivates me is just love for Derek and for our family, and I want that to last as long as humanly possible for us. And it's that simple.
For me, it's a family effort. Take it out of the team effort. It's a family effort.
We have found strength together.
It could be extremely difficult, but it isn't. So
I love you.
If you feel overwhelmed, there's always someone that you can reach out to.
I really want to see, my son graduate from college. We are fighting to help stop diabetes together as a family.
People who are living with type 2 diabetes and those supporting them have remarkable stories to tell. Stories that inspire and encourage, celebrate successes, raise awareness about the seriousness of the disease, and educate others to stand up to misconceptions about type 2 diabetes. The American Diabetes Association and proud sponsor John Hancock and his wellness-based life insurance program have teamed up to change the conversation about type 2 diabetes. Join us. Listen. Share. Tell us your story. Help change the conversation. Learn more at diabetes.org/in it together.